when it doesn't go as planned for the narcissist. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So when it doesn't go as planned for the narcissist, this happens every single day. It probably happens a couple times a day. They never wanted you to know that this happened. They never wanted you to know who they were. They didn't want you to know that they were wearing a mask. They didn't want you to know that they didn't love you or care about you. What they did want you to think was they were the best thing since sliced bread, and that you couldn't live without them. You needed them. You had to be there. You had to be around them. Now you may say, well, yeah, that was exactly how I felt, but why did I feel that way about that person and never felt that way about anybody else? Most likely it was a trauma bond. You probably were caught up in it. If it wasn't the trauma bond, it was the toxicity of the person you're considering, peppering you with abuse intermittently, taking you really high, dropping you really low, pushing you away, pulling you back in. This person you're considering, no matter what you want to label them or call them, if you're doing that, they did damage to you. They abused you. They manipulated you. They tricked you and trapped you. And many times what they were trying to do didn't go the way they planned. And what would they do when they would talk to you, or what would they do when they came home? That's right, they would take it out on you. Why do you think an unhealthy or unstable person, i.e. the narcissist, would need someone else to take it out on? Well, you should know by now. They can't regulate themselves. They don't have the ability to introspect, to be accountable, and to realize that they make mistakes like everybody else. They can't own up to their own mistakes, so they need someone to dump this toxicity into. Picture the narcissist, if you will, as a child who can't control anything, so they have temper tantrums, and they're always throwing their peas and carrots and crying or screaming, or they need attention. Well, hey, I was a child too, and I did that sometimes. I didn't eat my veggies, and didn't go too well for me, but I learned, and I was brought up the proper way. The narcissist, whether you believe they were brought up the proper way or not, that's not the point. The point is these people never grew the way you did. They don't have any emotional intelligence. What they do is they have a sixth sense, a predatory instinct, if you will, on how to get people to do things for them. So when things don't go the way the narcissist wanted, they would usually take it out on you, because you probably were either in love with the narcissist, you loved them, you cared about them, you were committed, you were a roommate and you needed them, or you were subservient to them or reliant upon them, or you tried your best to help them. Any way you cut it, whatever you did for the narcissist, it was because they needed you to do something for them. It wasn't because they cared about you. They never cared about you. They don't care about anybody. They don't care about the new supply. They don't care about the new supply. They don't care about the old sources of supply. They don't care about their parents, their siblings, colleagues, co-workers, or anybody. All they care about is who does what. And when the narcissist can move around the chess pieces on the board of abuse and get certain people to do certain things for them and keep those people hidden or away from other people, they feel like they're running the whole show. And they're running people's lives, and they're moving people around and getting people to do things for them and pick them up and give them money or take them away on vacation or pay for their Amazon or buy them a car or listen to them on a Friday night for 5 hours. Whatever the narcissist needed, if you couldn't provide it, they would look elsewhere, which is why this is a narcissistic abusive cycle that we're talking about. The beginning of the cycle is usually the love bomb or the euphoric stage. Love bomb is the popular term, but truth be told, it should be called euphoric stage, because not everybody falls in love with the love bomb. And euphoria is what many people experience. When you experience euphoria and you don't know how to harness or really keep yourself centered, then you are subject, or you were subject, to falling prey into the jaws of the narcissist. And that's what you did. That's what I did. Well, once the narcissist has their dirty little fangs sunken into a person, then they begin to devalue them more and more and extract resources. I shared it with you before. Picture a vampire. The vampire bites into a human being with 2 fangs, and they slowly suck the blood out of the human being. They don't kill the person, but they slowly remove blood from that person. Maybe they do it over and over and over again. And what happens as that person's blood is being drained by the vampire? Yeah, they fall into a trance, a spell, the lure of the Dracula, the lure of the vampire. Now, again, I'm just trying to illustrate different ways you can look at what narcissism is. There is a reason that there are parts to the narcissistic abusive cycle. There's a reason I've been pounding the table for 5 years about the narcissistic fog. There's a reason I say that the narcissist sinks their dirty fangs into you. Maybe you're getting these light bulb moments right now. Think about it. It's what they do. They don't finish you off, i.e. the narcissist. They want you to finish yourself off. They don't take every single thing they can from you. They take almost every single thing. And when they take as much as they want, that's when the third part of the narcissistic abusive cycle comes out, which is the ending. Maybe you were discarded, maybe you ended it yourself, meaning maybe you removed the narcissist from your life yourself. No matter how you did it, you did it. So there's the euphoric stage, the beginning, the devaluation stage, the second, the ending is the third, and at times there are hoovers. Now you may say, what is a hoover? A hoover is when the narcissist is trying to get your attention and to see if they still matter to you or you still matter to them, vice versa, meaning if you'll still communicate with them. Never, and I mean never, accept a hoover. It will never benefit you. It has never benefited anybody in the history of humanity, and you won't be the first. If you haven't received a hoover, good job. Continue to maintain your boundaries, continue to maintain no contact, and have a small footprint and get off of any toxic person. And at the top of that list should be the narcissist. So there's your cycle for you. But what the narcissist needs is they need somebody, whether that person is in person, on a dating app, on an app, someone they could call, someone they could email, someone they could text. They need anybody who will consume their toxic spoo that they dump out. And you may say, why would somebody do that? Why would somebody verbally abuse another person or dump toxicity into them? Well, that's a great question. The answer there is an unhealthy or unstable person will do that because they want to punish people and they want to keep people trapped in that zombie-like, trance-like state. They want to remove all the toxicity from themselves. I'm referring to the narcissist. Dump it into someone else, make themselves feel better, have that other person feel worse about themselves. They want to do it over and over and over again, repeatedly, intentionally, deliberately, and on purpose. And this is what the narcissist has been doing since the beginning of time. And this is what they are doing right now, and it's what they'll be doing. It's certainly as long as I'm existing. Now, I wish narcissism would be eradicated, but it's not going to happen today, and it won't happen tomorrow. But with each and every person who breaks the trauma bond, who breaks the chains, who heals and heals properly, that's one less person that the narcissist can sink their dirty fangs into. You're looking at somebody who is narcissist proof. Now you may say, whoa, those are some pretty bold and brave words, Andrew. Well, I have a small footprint. I trust my instincts. I trust my intuition. I've already been to hell and back multiple times. I'm not going back again. I know what to do, what not to do. I know how to heal. I healed myself. I know how to trust my intuition. I know how to pay attention to green flags, pay attention to red flags, and I know how to live an abundant life. I wasn't this way years ago. I was caught up in that narcissistic abusive cycle, and when anything would go wrong with a toxic person, the narcissists, they would take it out on me in the workplace, at the household, when I was participating in certain exercise groups or hobbies, and I didn't even know what narcissism was. You see, I was the kind person. I was the empath. I was what I call the beautiful, bright, shining light. I didn't call myself that back then, just like I didn't call you that back then. But once you're in the cycle and you're in the pitch blackness, the quagmire, the low vibrational state, trapped, and you don't think there's any way out, and you do get out, you realize that you are A, stronger than you know. You are, number two, a beautiful, bright, shining light. Number three, you will never, and I mean never, be in the grasp or the clutches or the jaws of the narcissists, plural, ever again. And now you have boundaries. And now you go no contact and you block that person. You delete them, remove them, and all flying monkeys and people associated with them. But to do all that, it takes a lot of time, which is why the healing path is not linear. It takes time. It takes a lot of time, but in your time, you will heal when you utilize the tools that I provide for you with each and every video and from all the amazing comments from all over the world. But getting back to the thumbnail, when it doesn't go well for the narcissist, or when things don't go the way the narcissist wants them to go, this happens over and over again. Think about traffic. Someone cuts the narcissist off on the freeway. Well, are they just going to let that person go by and say, oh, wow, that was a close call? Maybe, probably not. They're probably going to try and get their license plate number down, report them, or give them the finger or whatever. I don't know what they're going to do. I can't tell you. But what do you think road rage is? Road rage isn't just somebody cut somebody off. Yeah, that's got a lot to do with it, but most likely one of the people has some problems and they're trying to take it out on somebody else, or vice versa. Without dissecting every inch of humanity, I want to share this. When the person you're considering, things didn't go their way when you were with them, they would take it out on you. They would give you the silent treatment. They would stonewall you. They would verbally abuse you, financially abuse you. They would be available or unavailable. They would withhold intimacy. They would counter-parent more instead of co-parent. They would try to drag out anything they could, longer and longer, and they try to destroy your day-to-day activities, your day-to-day life. You didn't know it back then, but that's what happened. And the more you stayed in that relationship, the more they abused you, manipulated you, took you for granted, and kept you stuck in the narcissistic fog. When that goes away and you heal, I'm fast forwarding, well then the narcissist has to do what? They have to look elsewhere for somebody to fill your shoes. They're never going to do that. You may have thought that they did. You may have thought they found somebody 20 years younger than you, or more handsome, or more beautiful, that has more money, and they're just an amazing person. Well, maybe that's true. But are they built like you're built? No, they're not. Is that person toxic? I can't tell you. Is that person in for a long road? I'm talking about the new supply. Yeah, they are. Any way you cut it, anyone who gets too close to the narcissist will pay a price one way or the other. That's why this is the relationship you need to heal from. And that's why as you heal, you get stronger. As you get stronger, this person you're considering gets weaker. As they get weaker, you realize the clarity really returns to your life. Your health returns, your looks return, your finances return, your energy returns, your sleep returns. Relationships that were fractured from the past, when you were in the when you were with the narcissist, some of those can be repaired as long as those people are not communicating with the narcissist. And then other relationships you will cultivate and build and grow. This is when you can take a class, teach a class, read a book, write a book. You can do whatever you want to do when you're free from that person. Now flip it to that person. That person is still having bad days. I'm talking about the narcissist. They're having bad days, bad weeks, bad months, bad years, bad decades. And they could blame it on things of the past, like other people's fault, other people's problems, or it was this person, they didn't do that, and that. This is what they do, they blame shift. Well, when you're out of it, they can still blame you because that's what they're doing, leveraging your relationship with the new supply. I get it. That's how they monkey branch from one person to the next. But what will happen is with the new supply, they will figure out, or maybe they won't, probably they won't, that it wasn't you. You were the person who was being abused, and now it's them. And when they realize that, it will be too late for them, just like it was too late for me, and just like it's too late for you. And what will happen? Well, the narcissist will continue to get worse, because the narcissist gets older and older, and they become the aging narcissist over time. As the narcissist gets worse and worse, and I'm referring to anybody toxic in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, all the way up to 130. Any of these people, what happens is these people can't regulate themselves more, and they have the ability to regulate themselves less and less the older they get. And the less they can regulate themselves, and to be honest with you, they can't regulate themselves whatsoever, the more the mask slips. The more the mask slips, the less they care. The less they care, the more they isolate themselves from fuel sources, from supply sources. I'm talking about the narcissist. And so eventually, this consumes the narcissist. The end of the narcissist is not a pretty sight to see. I would not want to be anywhere around these people, anywhere when the wheels are falling apart. Think about when you were in the relationship, when you were with them, on an average weekend, when you were probably reading a magazine, watching Netflix, just finished a very healthy breakfast, you're gonna go for a run, and the narcissist came home and they try to blow up your Saturday because they now give you an endless to-do list, and your feet were on the coffee table, you didn't rinse the spoon that was in the sink, your sneakers weren't perfectly lined up against the door, and there's laundry that hasn't been folded yet. And you would be saying, why, who does this? It's a Saturday, I just worked 60 hours last week. Like who? Well, there you go, that's the narcissist. So why did they do that to you? When this is an example, and it may probably happened to you. Why would they do that to you? A, because they could. B, because you would do whatever they wanted you to do. C, if you didn't, they would punish you more. D, because they were taking out their, whatever happened to them or didn't happen to them when you were waking up that Saturday morning, they took it out on you. Maybe someone did something to them that morning. Maybe someone didn't answer their email that night or the night before. Maybe they just drove their car into the carport and they saw that they had a brand new car. I'm talking about the narcissist. Maybe they drove in the carport where you live, and they had a brand new car, maybe 3 months old, but they realized their best friend just got a brand newer car from a month ago, and it cost twice the price. And what would happen there? Well, the person you're considering would not be happy because their bestie now just got a really high value car, and it makes their car look like a toy box or a matchbox, and now they don't feel good, so they can't take it out on their bestie. They have to punish you. This is what the narcissist does. It's what they've been doing forever. You just couldn't figure it out because you weren't taught this. Now that you know what they do and how they behave, you need to get as far away from them as possible, as fast as you can. That's why the narcissist doesn't change, and that's why their lives will continue to go sideways over and over and over again, and they will continue to fall apart at the seams over and over and over again, and they will continue to not have the ability to regulate themselves, and they will continue to blame other people. They will continue to age. They will continue to burn people out. But what they won't do is elevate, ascend, change, grow, develop, introspect, be accountable, if I didn't say that, and ever apologize authentically, own their mistakes, and improve and be a better person. They can't do that. They won't do it. It's never going to happen in 1,000 years. So that's why the narcissist is doomed and destined to be a failure. They are massive failures in life. And you may say, no, they're not. The narcissist I knew, they had a multi-million-dollar company, and they wore fancy watches, and they had all the great cars. Those are tangible assets. You can't take those with you to the grave. What really matters is how you treat your fellow human being. What really matters is how you cultivate and grow relationships. What really matters is how you make people feel and what you do to elevate people. It's not about the cars, the boats, the fancy watches, the houses, the beach homes, the ski chalets. That is all things. These are all things in the material world. What really matters is what you do and how you are to other people. And the narcissist knows that. That's why they punish empathetic, kind, loving people. That's why they punish me, and that's why they punished you. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning. No matter where you are on the planet, you're not alone. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. And there is a sound in the background, so I'm going to close this because I don't want you to hear that. I love you all, and I'll talk to you. Enjoy yourselves. God bless you. Bye.